Allow me to quote from the Luciferian-inspired Christian Bible. Occasionally I'll quote passages from time to time, but not because I place authority in these writings as the Word of God, or that there's any truth to be found within these pages. Quite the contrary. This book, the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Quran, and all religious writings in the world, are all Luciferian-based. The thought process, the light process, the light-E process. Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth." Everything written up to this point has been to show that conjuring up a thought, which is a word, which is a sound and which is a lie, is intended to disconnect us from our original state of reality and wisdom. This thought, of combining a sound with a shape and color, results in matter becoming visible, or being created, or conjured up. This is the Hebrew notion referred to as an, something from nothing. An equals I and equals nine, or the number 9, which is the fall into the illusory 3D life experience called the trance state, which is the concept we refer to as death. The number 9 refers to this beginning of the illusion, or the creation of the universe, and 9/11 is the first day of creation to those who worship the light-bringing Luciferian thought process. Likewise, 9/11, in the year 2001, was the beginning of the end of the old world, and the transition leading into the new world order by the year 2012 and beyond. Within the trance state, it's impossible to see this concept, where the end of the old order has come to pass, and is passing away. However, from the perspective outside the trance state, it becomes very evident that we've just witnessed the end of the old, and are well along into replacing the old with the new. The three-dimensional world appears because of this linked thought process. This thought process is communicated to humanity through the number and language systems devised by the Luciferian group egregore mind. This thought process conjures up the appearance of matter, and ultimately, conjures up time and space. Therefore, it is no giant leap, unlike the faked moon landings, to see that the heavens and the earth and everything in them, were created by the Luciferian egregore thought process. And that includes you and me. The Luciferian mind is our creator and is our God, in a manner of speaking. This Luciferian group of thinking entities called God, conjured up the hypnotic trance state to attempt to separate who and what we really are from our original wisdom state, and reality. The system we live in the hoops we are forced to jump through as we pay homage to this lunatic concept, which is to give credibility to it, causes us to make this intellectual thought process, this way of existing, be our God. The really good news in all this, is that when we realize that this is how it works, we escape. We don't have to intellectualize anything in our life, or plan for the future, or worry about the past. Realizing this, allows us to reconnect through this awareness, to our original paradise state, which is what we already are. The real ultimate expression of being is who we really are, already, and this is the paradise state. We are the paradise state. We're not going to become part of the paradise state, we already are, and always have been that eternal state of power, freedom and liberty. We don't need some Luciferian mind to manipulate us to constantly believe we need to think, for all thoughts originate with the thinking entities, and are simply implanted in our mind, which is their mind they conjured up for us, and all suggestion and subliminal manipulation manifests in the way they, the thinkers, want us to think. We don't need to think because we just know all things, already. Following after the endless Luciferian thought process is to become indoctrinated in higher learning, which, in the world system, translates into higher earning, which translates again, into making merchandise out of everything imaginable. The indoctrination into the hallowed halls of science and education is nothing more than the worship of the delusionary god called Lucifer, the egregore group creator, conjurer of heaven and earth. This conjuring, and creation of the illusion of matter, is the coming of the light, the coming of the lie, and the coming of death. This Luciferian group god and its thought process is the attempted introduction of mass hypnosis into the eternal paradise state, which is being executed at this very single eternal moment. There is no such thing as time, or space, and the battle for control of the eternal state is raging, and the intensity is building, even as the tension mounts to completely take control of reality, by manipulating an illusory reality within the minds they've conjured up for us, attempting to force us to believe this is real. Doing this